Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Raise Rewind with Bell, Bushman, and Drew.
Jansen. That is into center field. Here comes Kiermaier. Phillips has tied the game. Arose Arena coming around. Throw home. Now he stumbles. But the ball gets away. Tampa Bay wins it. Brett Phillips, Game 4 hero.
The sickest Tampa Bay Rays podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Rays Rewind podcast, streaming live on Instagram right now this Friday afternoon, August 22nd. Make sure to go to our YouTube page, of course, for the replay at the Sick Podcast Rays Rewind. And if you're on us on Instagram, hello, you are at the Sick Podcast or at Rays Rewind Pod on Instagram. Welcome in, everybody. It is the great old Bushman, and usually, as usual, as joining me is my co-host Drew. We haven't been seeing you guys for a while because of illnesses and back to school, and well, the Rays have just plain out stunk for the past couple of weeks. And of course, as they start to bring up their young core of players that we'll probably hopefully see next year to get the future going. Bobby Barrels, Seymour came up. Carson Williams got the call yesterday. So we'll hopefully get a preview of our magical infielders. Hopefully it'll be for the next 5 to 10 years, depending on what ownership does, of course. But it's been a tough stretch. And I think, Drew, you and I are pretty realistic here. And I know there's still a lot of people on Twitter and Facebook that have dreams and aspirations that the Rays might make the playoffs, but it's not looking like that's going to happen. So I titled this episode, it's Curtains for 2025. And do you agree?
Yeah. Okay. I think I'm there. I feel like I was one of the ones that, because honestly, it was just more of, why not still think they have a shot? It makes the games more interesting and more fun for me as a fan, to think that if they can just get on a run here, we can make, still be playing some meaningful baseball. I think I don't know if it was if it was the 5th or the 6th or the 7th homer or the 9th homer on Thursday or on Tuesday when it was going over the wall. I kind of was like, all right.
Did your Rays fandom spirit just leave your body?
Yeah, I was like, all right, well, it's just not.
It's not our year.
This isn't going to happen. And honestly, you just start kind of. It's hard not to be real negative right now because there's really not a lot to be positive about. But yeah, as far as 2025 goes,
don't worry about that. Just keep going.
I didn't know what that was. I think I'm done. I'm certainly going to still be watching, and there's a lot of things I'm interested in for the next, month and a half. But there's no shot. I think they're 7 games out now.
Or
6. Oh, I guess it might be 6.5 or 7. I don't know.
I think it's 6. I think it's 6.5 out, but I haven't checked it because it's just why even check it? You know what I mean? To get that third wild card spot, there's at 7 now. So I mean, I came into this week with not really a lot of optimism. Just because the past couple of weeks it's just been dismal. They haven't really. Yeah, they won a couple of the series out in California, and you think, there's some momentum coming in. The Yankees 2-game set as the point of no return and the last resort. And if they don't sweep the Yankees for 2 games, then that's that. And there's no point of, kind of, I wouldn't say pay attention to the team, but there's no point to have that glimmer of hope that they could make the playoffs. And that's what
you're not watching for a playoff run at this point.
Yeah. At this point it's okay. Now we're watching for 2026 where all the younger guys are coming up to get their shot, to get their playing time in, to kind of showcase what they can do. And then we'll see what happens with the offseason with new ownership and the areas that need to address, and then that's that. Because right now, if you have look, listen, Rays fans, and I'm talking directly to you, and I'm talking to the ones that are on X, I'm talking to the ones on Facebook. If you think they are gonna get in, you're kind of delusional right now, and you're just delusional, and you just maybe need to have a little bit of a dose of reality that's not going to happen this year. And there are some of you that still are doing this right now that you think there's a shot. So unless a prolific act from the baseball gods happen, it's time to just watch the young guys come up, watch them play, and see how they do. Still go to the games, still support the team and everything, but the shot of the playoffs was kind of demolished in that 2-game set against the Yankees, in my opinion. I just thought of that as, don't sweep them here. That's a wrap. And we can finally officially put the bow and just put the nail in the coffin. That's a wrap. So your mic's muted. It's okay. Your mic's muted. Yeah, your mic's muted.
Sorry, we go live, and I'm
It's
all over the
okay.
place.
Look, my camera's going out of focus,
How
and we're live.
sensitive this button was.
My camera's out of focus now.
Oh yeah, we're just cruising this morning or this afternoon. Yeah, that whole series against the Yankees. I mean, it seemed like every ball they hit was going over the wall. And then Hunter Fiducia, I mean, I don't know how that doesn't get out, and it's like 2 inches from over the wall, and of course we can't capitalize. I think there's, and I kind of do a moratorium on the season, I'm sure, in another episode, because there's just a lot to unpack with that. But I think Drew pitched great on Wednesday, so him excluded, RIP. I think Joe Boyle's start, and which is a different series, of course, and then Shane Baz's start on Tuesday kind of are a nice little microcosm of what the issues have been. And we talked about this earlier in the season too. I think it was on the heels of their into the first half that was real disappointing, where it was, the bullpen and then the offense was kind of sputtering. The bullpen gave up some games late, but the starting pitching had been largely pretty steady still. And we kind of talked a little bit about like, well, what happens if the starting pitching starts faltering? We're going to be in some big trouble because, outside of some blow up games that happened earlier in the year, like they've been healthy and they've been pretty consistent. They've been keeping us in most games. And I mean, we're just seeing that now where, Boyle's getting hit all over the place. Shane Baz can't keep the ball in the yard. Hauser finally had a good start against the Angels, I think it was. Or the Giants, excuse me. But it just, I mean, we're starting to see Pepio just kind of broke down there at the end of the Giants game in the 6th. Some bad luck, but just couldn't match Logan Webb anymore. Like, there's just suddenly a lot of questions. Drew's really the only one that you're like,
there's super duper questions. And I think
that
was one of the things.
Like, I mean, it's great if he pitches well, but I mean, are they going to keep him through this year? I don't think so. I mean, I don't know.
I was going to save that for the the latter half of the show of things they need to address. But like, let's talk about it now. Let's address it right now. Like, I put out a tweet the other day going, okay, here are the areas they need to address. Starting pitching to me is an area they need to address. I don't think the rotation with all these young guys is going to cut it going into 2026, especially with the wheels that have been falling out with Pepio, Baz, like now even, I mean, obviously Boyle is, I think still to me, a work in progress. But other than that, Rass, he's going to be there. But if you're going to go into 2026 with that rotation, I'm not hyped about it. And I think one of the things they really need to look at is, okay, maybe this is all just what ifs. And it's just, if new ownership is going to come in and spend money, are they going to go out and maybe get a couple of veteran arms to come into that rotation? Because I think they need a veteran or two presence in that rotation to work with the young guys, especially with their pitching mechanics. Because just what I've seen lately is just maybe they're just down and they're done. They're not trying. No, I'll take that back. I wouldn't say they're not trying, but I think they're gassed, and the confidence level, especially in the whole team as a whole, is just bottom of the barrel right now. But if you're going into 2026 with the rotation, which every single year we think the rotation is going to be top notch, it's going to be one of the best in the league. This year, it's fallen off and it's gone into a tailspin, just like everything else on the team. So I would say Neander needs to look at the rotation and go, okay, we should maybe go out and spend on some veteran help. Shortstop is another one. If they're gonna maybe Ha-Seong Kim that's a waste of money. And look, keep Taylor Walls as much. Yeah, I'm gonna say keep Taylor Walls. Maybe give Carson Williams a shot next year. Bring him onto the 40-man for the starting, for the opening day roster. And I think Ha-Seong Kim is, let him right off into the sunset.
Well, it's a player option though, so
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think he's
that's
played
a lot of
well
money
enough
too,
to where he's gonna get that, or that plus years on the free agency, on the free agent market. But
do you think they rushed him in?
I don't know. Is it impossible? I didn't really. If anything, I always thought they were too cautious. But I mean, he's been dealing with
a lot
stuff even when he was on his first rehab assignment. I remember he was like kind of coming up at the end of the window, and then there was something happened. I don't know if it was a hamstring. I can't remember, but something happened where they took him off rehab and then they were able to put him back on. I always kind of thought that was a little bit.
I think it was the hamstring that was bothering him. And that's why, because remember he had the hamstring issue and they put him on for an extra 10 and then they brought him up.
Yeah, and I knew they restarted his clock in the rehab. I just didn't know. Part of me kind of thought that was a little bit maybe some manipulation of they didn't want to.
The only reason why I asked that, Drew, is because I'm looking at Shane, I'm looking at Ha-Seong Kim, and their injuries. I think they were rushed. Because you bring up Shane, the timeline was, you bring up Shane in August. Well, I kept getting pushed back, and then finally you say, he's going to start his rehab, and then he's going to be up in the bigs again. And then now he has a pinched nerve in his arm, which could require another round of surgery, and you won't see him again for another year or so. I think what they looked at is, the lack of talent that we have right now, we're going to need these guys sooner than later. And I think they just rushed them up and it hurt them.
Yeah. It's weird because Kim, especially, I think they said he was very durable back in San Diego. I think really until this shoulder issue that he had where he got it, diving back or something like that, diving into a base. He really wasn't somebody that was injury prone, but I mean, I think this is the second time he's had a back issue. He had a calf or whatever that was in Minnesota. So yeah, I mean, it's been largely disappointing. I don't know if he accepts the player option, I don't know if they're just like, all right, well, if Carson comes up and does well, maybe that means they look to trade Kim. I'm sure they could find somebody that would want to take him. I don't know. It's hard to know what that's going to be. I mean, I think they're going to pick up Brandon's option. I think that's a guarantee. I think he's done enough to do that. I think Yandy's obviously he's going to be back. Like, they have a really solid base of players for next year going into the season, just, with people coming back. And then you add a guy like maybe Carson Williams potentially at the beginning of the season. I don't know. I mean, they're talking he might only be up for a 10-day stint here. And then
I think he's going to be longer.
Yeah. I mean, it just depends, I think, I don't know if he ends up playing and doing okay. I don't know why you wouldn't just keep him up.
Well, I look at it this way too. Like, why?
I mean, if he's just struggling immensely, then maybe you'd say, okay, hey, we got you up. We'll send you back down. But
why send him back down when he's up here? If he does pretty well, and then you say, okay, Kim's coming back. But like, why would you even bring Kim back up for the next few weeks of the season when you don't really need him? I mean, what would be the point?
Yeah.
I would say just let Carson play the rest of the way and see how he does. And then now you have sample size going into next year. I just don't think I just don't think Kim's on the 10-day on the EIL?
Yeah.
I just don't see the point of like bringing him back when he's been so injured this past couple of months. It's like, okay, well, we've got this, our number one prospect at shortstop here. Let's just give him the rest of the time for the rest of the season and then see how it goes instead of bringing Kim back up. I think to me, it's almost a disservice to Carson.
Yeah. They they haven't given any update on Taylor at this point. So
Yeah.
I don't know what that's about. I mean, I think you're getting into the territory now where the season's slipping so far out of whack that I guess you could always it's always balancing. Okay, guys that are struggling like a Josh Lowe, do we want to keep him in there and hope he can end the season on a strong note, or is it? I think he's not healthy. I mean, I know he had that oblique thing that they said they caught early, and he's back in there. He looked awful last night. He couldn't catch up to any fastballs. Same issue that he had early in his career. And I wonder if he's compromising his swing at all just because of the oblique, and he's worried about that. So, I feel like you could see a scenario where, okay, they're just gonna start putting guys on the IL, not like in mass, but just
right.
A guy like Josh Lowe. Do we rush Taylor back with a groin injury when,
there isn't really anything to play for? So why do it?
And I think Carson. I mean, I would like to think Carson can dictate a little bit of this if he comes up and yeah, we know the strikeout numbers are high, but like if he's able to show some pop and play a good shortstop and just looks comfortable and is productive, doesn't have to tear the cover off the ball, doesn't have to be perfect, but is just productive and doesn't look overmatched. I'd like to think they just decide to keep him up. This the rest of the season, it certainly would give them a good look. At this point, you're looking ahead to 2026. I don't know why giving him, unless you think it's just detrimental to his growth, but
right.
I don't know why you wouldn't want to give him just an extended look here in the last month plus. There's some other guys. The rosters expand by a couple, obviously in September. I would love to see guys like Trey Morgan come up. The Cure. I don't know how to pronounce his first name. O'Neill Cure.
I think it's
Forrest Whitley's been crushing it, and Forrest Whitley's been crushing it as a starter in Durham. I think it's possible you could see him up for a start. So I got something flying around me.
I'd rather the Rays do that is just start.
Yeah, I'm all for let's just see. Let's throw some guys.
Because what do you really have to play for? You got nothing except for last place because the Orioles are right on your heels for last place. So
and it doesn't really matter. I don't know. It doesn't. I get they're not going to actively lose, and I'm not saying that. I just think, I think the more important thing is keeping guys healthy for going into the offseason. So I mean, there is no reason why they should be throwing Drew out 6 innings to start in the last month here, especially if they're still 7-8 games back.
Mm-hmm.
When they've talked about his innings limit. Now, obviously, I'm sure there's a number they want him to get to, but you're going to probably start seeing his starts abbreviate. There's just a lot of things that will probably happen in the name of, or for the sake of growth and seeing what we have for next year. And injuries play part in that. We saw Yandy get hurt yesterday. Things seems like he's going to be okay, but I don't know. And the reality is too, there's not a ton of guys in Durham. There's not a junior Caminero in Durham. I mean, Carson's kind of been that guy.
Yep.
Where, okay, that's the next guy we're really excited to see. I'm personally excited to see Trey Morgan come up. I hope that happens for just a little bit. But there's not a ton of guys in Durham that I'm just man, I would love to get them up here on the team. So
I'm
I don't
super excited to see Carson. I really want to see how.
I mean, they had to add him to the 40-man in the offseason. So I mean, getting him up now is really just, I'm excited too.
See this next stretch. This next stretch of games should have been at least a few wins here and there. I mean, we're playing St. Louis. We got Cleveland for 3, and then we got Washington for 3 before we go play Seattle again and back at home.
Mm-hmm.
So those are 2 series that hey, you could hopefully win a couple series just to make it kind of fun, but just the way they've been playing has been uninspired and just it's hard to watch, man. Your mic's muted again. It's a sensitive button, man.
I'm sorry.
It's a sensitive button. It's okay.
I'm holding my mic, and so I
I
touch it.
gotta send you that mic arm so you'll be okay.
Yeah. So, you just want guys out there playing hard. I mean, I think, Chandler's a guy out there. I love, he needs to play every day. Junior, obviously. Junior's storyline's really, outside of Carson now being up, Junior's storyline's really the one that is the most enticing reason to watch, because you want him to get to 40 homers, maybe even
45.
45. Yeah, like, if you can get on a stretch here. So
He's got plenty of time to do it.
I know he does. And so,
Got plenty
like,
of time.
there's still a lot of reasons to watch. I'm excited about seeing Bob Seymour hopefully, have some success. Like, there are guys that are fun to watch. There's just a lot of disappointments. And I mean, in the context of how the season has gone to, like, the trading deadline or trade deadline, I think, yeah, it was great. They kind of got some pieces and tried to shore up the bullpen, but I think with how everything's gone, it's kind of, you wonder if maybe missed opportunity to capitalize on the market a little bit and get some more assets in the minor leagues, which the system for the Rays has taken a step back this year, just performance wise. So they maybe missed out on that for the sake of trying to get Stu Sternberg in the playoffs one final time. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just it's a more disappointing season than last year.
I think it's a fitting end though for the Stu Sternberg era though.
Yeah, it's
a fitting end.
It's tough. I mean, yesterday's game was awful.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know if you watched the post game, but did you see did you watch any of the game yesterday?
I watched just a few clips because
did you see the clip where the second inning was atrocious? I actually missed it and then went back and watched it on my MLB TV because and saw all the calamity with their errors and just bad baseball on defensively. But did you see the clip? And I think it was the sixth inning. They who was it? Tristan Gray hit a ball single up the middle or into the outfield. Everson Pereira is running around third. It was first and second, 2 outs. Nick Fortes on first, Pereira's on second. Pereira's coming home. He kind of pulls up a little bit, kind of like we saw Chandler do that one day. And there was an out on the bases because Fortes went from first to third when the ball was in center field.
Is that before Fortes pulled himself?
No. That was immediately before. That's the reason why he got pulled.
Okay.
Cash pulled him from the game,
gotcha.
Which I thought was interesting that Cash pulled Fortes. Because you'd think it's really Pereira to not, he kind of pulls up, he doesn't hustle 100%, and he said that after the game, like in the interview, in the post game, I saw in the article that he knew right away, like, he screwed up, he should have ran 100%, and they certainly have replacements for it, but, like, replacing your catcher unnecessarily in the middle of a game, that's a risk.
It seems like a weird move.
I mean, and if you watch the broadcast back, as soon as the play happens and Cash is checking with Rodney Linares to see if they didn't want to challenge the play at third where Fortes got thrown out, and he says, no, it's no, don't challenge. And he said Cash turns to the dugout and kind of does one of these and says, get out there or something. Like, you can kind of tell his words, like, get out there.
Yeah.
And I think that's where he's talking, I'm sure, to Fiducia, saying, hey, go. And he pulled Fortes immediately after that. And so I thought it was interesting that, I mean, Fortes had a terrible game yesterday. He didn't he had several pass balls, didn't just not aware of things in the field, and then have that play. Like, I mean, Cash was frustrated. He literally said, I pulled him because I was frustrated. And
I think the level of frustration that Kevin Cash has right now is to like a boiling point.
Yeah, and you're starting to see it just a little bit, and that's how you know.
Yeah, and that's why that's when he's just like, what the hell, man? Like, she's like, I've never seen him so frustrated in the tenure he's been at the Rays more than ever now. I think he's just over it. Yeah, he's just over it.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty crazy. I mean, I love the bluntness of his answer. That's what we've kind of been wanting all along. But yeah, for him to pull Fortes, I mean, I'm not been impressed with Fortes at all. He certainly didn't win me over yesterday. But yeah,
well, look, Adley Rushman is
yeah, I'm
You
sure
know,
that'll
just
happen.
saying.
But it's funny how we've kind of gone from excited about outdoor baseball with the Rays and the potential of Steinbrenner
Nah, I'm
with
ready
the
to get back into a
power
dome.
and the home runs and stuff, and it going really well, kind of up and down at the beginning, and then really well for like 30 something games, and then
I'm
at
ready to
this
get back
point we're
into a
just like
dome,
people
dude.
are just like cannot wait for the
Yeah.
Trop, and I'm kind of getting to that point now where it'd just be nice to be back. And I know it's going to have all the same issues, whatever. I don't care. People don't show. It's empty. I would rather be there and
I
losing
agree.
there than losing at Steinbrenner. But one other thing about last night's game that I thought was really interesting, and again, it just one of those things. If you're watching the broadcast, you saw it. But Carson showed up. I think they showed him in like the second inning, bottom of the second. He was in the dugout, and they showed him saying hi to Kevin Cash. He quite literally said hello, like high fives, bro hugs, all that stuff to every single person in the dugout, pretty much.
Yep.
I mean, everybody was either coming up to him, excited to see him. He was going to coaches, he was going to players, dapping them up. Him and Junior were sitting on the bench together talking. Junior's excited. You could tell Junior's excited. He's there. He's excited to be there. Like, just, I don't think I've ever seen that before. And I get like that situation specifically. We don't get that with every prospect. Like sometimes they're there before the game and they're in the lineup and they're just not like all those welcomes and hugs and handshakes and stuff happen, off camera. But
Well, think of the possibilities of
I
those
just,
two being on that left side.
yeah. Well,
You know what I
I
mean?
just watched that thinking like, man, please be good,
Yeah.
because if he's good, it just was obvious, and based on like what they've said publicly about him, and how the coaches love him, and he's a great guy in the clubhouse, like, and just the reception he got from the guys in the dugout
I'm
in that
projecting.
half
I'm
inning, like,
projecting too, Drew. Like him, Caminero third, Carson Williams at shortstop. Well, for the time being, Brendan Lau is second base, and then at first you either have Aranda and then
Yandy.
Seymour.
Right.
I'm talking about like future.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like future.
Oh, I just think Carson. I was watching. I was like, man, that's got team captain written Willie Adames written all over him, right? Like that's what they've been missing. And
I hope so,
Junior
man.
and Junior, to his credit, like Junior has been great about, and they've had articles about him this, but all the being, becoming a clubhouse leader, all the stuff that we as fans get to see, which is not a lot, and there's a lot that happens behind the scenes, but like it's great seeing Junior being the first one out of the dugout. Like when your
Right.
best player and youngest essentially is always the first guy out of the dugout, high-fiving guys when they've hit a home run or had a big play, or he's hyping up the dugout, going crazy. Like those are, I know it's just, it's good for us fans to see, but like that's been so great to see. But like watching Carson come into the team yesterday, the way the guys embraced him, the way he embraced the other guys, like I was just thinking, man, if he is just good, like if he's just not worst outcome possible, and he is a guy that can go 2020 Gold Glove defense and be a good player, like I think that's just got
And let's hope he
captain written
stays
all over
away
him.
from underage girls. So
Yeah, that's always the
always
caveat. But so I got fired up watching that, and it's something small and like off the field, but I thought that was sweet, and it's cool to see that he's already kind of got that personality about him, and
that moxie about
if
him.
he's able to produce on the field, I just think it's going to add even more to his ability to be that guy for the clubhouse and be that guy for the team along with Junior. And so if we have those two guys like cornerstones, that's got me excited for next year more than anything.
I'm excited to
outside
watch
of-
tonight. I'm hoping that I'm sure he'll be in the lineup tonight, so I'm hoping that we get to see a nice little.
No offense to Tristan Gray, but
No offense, but I think we're all here to see Carson Williams make his debut in the lineup tonight. So, but yeah, thanks for guys for joining in to our special live stream of this Sick Podcast, the Rays Rewind, the sickest Tampa Bay Rays podcast on the Sick Podcast Network. We hadn't seen you guys for a while, so we figured, hey, let's go live and say what's up. So make sure to get over to our YouTube page at the Sick Podcast, Rays Rewind. Of course, if you're on Instagram, you already know where you are at the Rays Rewind Pod. We will see you guys later. It's the Rays Rewind Podcast. Peace.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Raise Rewind with Bushman and Drew on YouTube, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.